the approval of the minutes of December the 12th, 2016. If you have had a minute to read those, well, I'll entertain a motion on those.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Sweat to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Bernita. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, I will proceed to read the 2017 State of the City Address. I hope you can all hear me. I'm going to try to get out here as quick as we can for John and some of the others here who wants to see the ball game. At this time, I would like to thank the City Council, the City Manager, and staff for a successful 2016. As a city, we have made a significant amount of growth internally as well as citywide. To ensure the future growth of the city, we completed the $6 million water treatment project. This project was to ensure economic growth by adding jobs by increasing the size of the treatment plant to handle any immediate needs from industry. The city also began a program to refurbish and update all public works facilities. Public Works increased their capacity by increasing their shop to a new 4,500 square foot building. This was made possible by purchasing 0.7 acres of property along with paving and fencing 1.2 acres. This enables the city to have their equipment in a safe and protected environment. The police department had additional space upstairs to enable the city administration to have proper long-term storage for their records. Also, an investor helped purchase a public safety building for a cost of $112,000 for a 5,000 square foot building and 7.5 acres, leaving a minimal cost to the city of $23,000. This will allow other law enforcement agencies to train at this facility as well. With progressive policing, major improvements have been made in our community. Policing program under the leadership of Chief Michael Leslie. Some key statistics include a 27% decrease in Part 1 crimes. These are the most serious crimes that include robbery, burglary, larcen, and so forth. Part 2, crimes have decreased by 9%, which include assaults, forgery, stolen property, and so forth. Another important indicator has been a 94% decrease in the detainment of juveniles. The theater has had a growing income based on attendance provided by the citizens of Alma and Bacon County, along with other surrounding communities. The city, along with mayor, council, and staff, have installed a higher quality roll-up screen that provides more space for the stage, as well as flexibility for other community activities. Soon, we will increase the concession area to accommodate a growing attendance. The animal shelter is completed to meet higher quality accommodations for our animals. I would like to thank the investor who provided $40,000 to help build a new animal shelter, and also would like to thank BARK, the Blueberry Animal Rescue Club, for assisting with the adoption program. The working members of BARK are Pam Solomon, Gail Fibash, Melissa Brown, Jalinda Field, Terry Taylor, Shannon Sass, as well as countless others. Dedication for the animal shelter will be this spring once the final site work is completed. This group is responsible for helping find homes for over 350 animals since inception. Elmig, with the paving of Progress Road, this has been completed now. This means that all the roads in Alma have been paved. These funds were provided by the SPLOSH along with the help of our legislators, Tyler Harper and Dominic LaRicchia. They provided funding for 8th, 9th, and 10th Streets resurfacing. Also, we were awarded sufficient LMIG funds for a 50-50 match. This completed the project. city, excuse me, the city of Alma was awarded $10,000 to refurbish all street signs, also provided by our local legislators, who also helped through special funding from Georgia Department of Transportation. This project will be finished June 2017. The water department, we're in the process of updating 1,900 meters, which is a major improvement to upgrade to an automatic reading system for a cost of $344,000. This will enable the city of Alma to improve the accuracy along with organizing the sufficiency from 50% to over 95% accuracy by automatic reading. The retail market continues to change. Dollar General store purchased the Walmart facility, therefore our retail sales continue to grow along with other local businesses that we're very proud of. The Alma-Bacon County Chamber of Commerce reports 4 ribbon cuttings for the new businesses and 2 ribbon cuttings for relocation of existing businesses for the year 2016. Economic development continues strong with Alma Pack making a $4 million improvement to their facility. Alma Pack's goal is to move from seasonal employment to a year-round by providing even more jobs for our community. The city of Alma plans to invest $500,000 to upgrade our sewer system to support this investment in our community. We appreciate the many businesses and citizens that contribute to the Atlanta Cookout, which is funded by private donations. This event has grown to over 400 participants. The purpose of this event is to promote Alma-Bacon County as the blueberry capital of Georgia and to support our local legislative delegates, Tyler Harper and Dominic LaRicchia, and to the Georgia General Assembly, as well as key state leaders, particularly the Speaker of the House, Lieutenant Governor, and the Governor, Nathan Hill, who annually attend our event. In 2017, the city plans to update our financial software and water meter billings software, as well as transferring old record keeping to a new digital record system. Also, I want to go back to Alma Pack at this time. Alma Pack, we now have a employment agency a staffing agency in our community. This is the first time we've ever had a staffing agency. And they just told me the other day when we were at their ribbon cutting that they're looking now for 180 people to fill jobs in our community. So I wanted to insert that into this. Okay, I'll move on. I would be remiss if I did not mention the children of our community. We have an investor who is willing to help with the funding of a splash pad along with a putt-putt course. However, we do not have the land and are actively seeking property for this project. We're hoping to bring this to a reality in the near future. Again, I want to express my sincere thank you to each of the city council members, city manager, staff for all their hard work. We have the best staff, and I would like to see us continue to work together to move the city forward. Also, I'd like to mention that we have a new city manager. He's doing a great job, and I appreciate all that he's done in the last 8-9 months that he's been here. And I'd like to thank Administrative Assistant Amanda, who helped. Amanda's one of those that you can ask her to do something and she graciously does it, as well as our city clerk and all our staff. Y'all, we just have a good staff, and I want to take this opportunity to thank them for all that they do for this community, and we're all going to work together to move this city forward. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, we'll move along to the agenda. Okay, next on the agenda is action items, appointment. Al, would you like to go through the appointment for the Housing Authority?
Yes. After a long career, Marilyn Smiley retired and moved out of the housing project. She served in the position of the resident member. There has to be one member who is actually a resident of the housing program. And so that created a vacancy. After their deliberations, and you can look under tab 1, different folks. The recommendation from the Housing Authority and the Residential Advisory Board, both boards, is Clyde Sexton. And this is a one-year term. It comes back to each year. And lives at 213 East Fifth Street, up near the old high school. For your all's consideration to appoint.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to accept this appointment.
I make a motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Bernita. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Rosie. Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Appointment of municipal court solicitor, Sam Edgar, for the newly created position as recommended by the municipal court judge Jerome Adams. There's a letter under 4, Mr. Al, is that correct?
Under tab 2,
2, I'm sorry.
item 2, tab 2.
You can take a minute to read this letter as Judge Adams is himself recommended that we have a municipal court solicitor.
A couple of key points that Dad wanted to make is that with this appointment, this rounds out and creates a fully balanced court. That way, we already appointed a public defender, Jennifer Carver, who serves for a good while. Judge Adams has been with you for a great number of years and is very familiar with the community. But there's been a gap, and the police chief and the policemen had to some degree serve as prosecutors or to carry their case as opposed to being a technical expert and a witness. And also the judge at times would have to kind of step beyond his role to help guide the court. And with the addition of a solicitor, then you then properly have an attorney. And also a number of these cases can be resolved with some serious issues of what is the proper charge and what should be the final outcome that the solicitor can discuss with the public defender and come to some solution. Sam's interest came to our attention. Once this started discussion, probably our expectation was that we'd have to hire a young attorney from out of town, but that was good news. He also served was just sworn in as the solicitor to the state court. He's previously served as the state court judge. So we think that this will actually enhance it and add another layer of professionalism to it and helps keep everybody in their proper role. He also made the point about what was the appropriate salary and all that, and he said, well, there ought to be, under the Supreme Court opinion, there ought to be a balance between the public defender and the solicitor, and he would want it on the same terms and conditions that you currently have your public defender.
Okay.
And so,
I think we're fortunate to have him come forward, so I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Sweat, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion on this? Any questions?
I just think we're fortunate to have you, Judge, and,
You call me judge, right?
well, that's, the thing about it is we would like Mr. Allen said, we would probably figure to try to dig something out of the woods somewhere, but anyway, it's a blessing to have you to come step up.
I appreciate the confidence.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
we appreciate Sam Edgar taking the time to come and actually be here for you.
Okay. Now we come to the adoption to designate Beach Street as Martin Luther King Jr. Drive as an honorary street name. Proper street name signs are to be placed along the route. The mailing addresses will remain Beach Street for postal and business services. So if this is an agreement with y'all, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Sweat, second. Second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor of designating Beach Street as Martin Luther King Jr. Drive? Entertain a motion. All right, I'm sorry. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. I apologize. Trying to get John to the ball game. Adoption.
For one thing, we'll try to get those signs as soon as we can. We'd like to organize some of the ceremonies, particularly during February and Black History Month. I think would be the most appropriate time. So once we get a firm date of delivery and everything, and we'd certainly like to do a little something to recognize that it's occurred.
Did we decide that we would put two signs up, one on
So
each?
we'll mark each of the, it starts at 12th Street, at the beginning with Eve Street, and proceeds south all the way across 32, and at 32, we'll put some more prominent signs, so it's easy for the traveling buses at a little higher speed to see that. We're gonna investigate, and see if DOT will let us put an overhead sign in too.
Is that where Al was, Miss Lewis and Rhoda wants their picture hung?
No, they want theirs in the park. They want those in the park. And then it'll proceed all along beside the school and all the way down to Edgewood.
Strike that, please.
On the 2017 calendars for the city of Alma, would you like to go over those, or are y'all comfortable with accepting what we went over in the workshop? Okay, I'll entertain a motion in a second.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Bernita. Second. Second by Mr. Sweat. Any questions? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion carries.
One supplementary comment. We like to do this ahead of time and actually post January, February of the following year. That way people can see what's coming and what the schedule is. We can circulate that for when our official meetings are. There may be a couple of issues that come up later in the year that may require you to make some local adjustments because of some unusual event, like GMA may have a meeting that hasn't been set on the calendar yet. The second is on the holidays. It's been too informal to some degree for our staff that people are talking the day or two before, well, are we going to close when and what we're going to do and all that. This just says it all clean and clear and which days are officially our holidays. They're adopted in the handbook. But this makes it clear when we're having our early closings and how we're going to handle those things so people can make their personal plans and fit into that. So we find that publishing like this and you all with adoption settles the issue for the year. And we thank you for that.
So there'll be no questions and no issues on the closings for 2017. They've been adopted. Request to Georgia Department of Transportation to transfer North Dixon Street to the city of Alma as a local street and remove as a state route beginning at West 16th Street, State Route 32, and ended at North US 1, State Route 4. I do not know if the public has noticed, but when the trucks come, the 18-wheelers come here, sometimes I'm wondering if they're gonna take half the bank off. And as well, when they're coming that from Dixon Street going south and they turn here at the red light to turn on to 12th Street going to 32, is the same issue. So it would be my recommendation that we ask DOT to return Dixon Street to the city. So I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Bernita. Second. Second by Mr. Hughes. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Motion's carried to return Dixon Street to the city.
We'll write such a letter to the DOT and cite that the mayor and council vote this is recommended request if possible.
Thank you. Harvey's Food Store is in the process of transfer their store manager. What happened here is the store manager was transferred to another Harvey's store, therefore leaving a vacant spot there. And for us to give a liquor license, we have to have a manager on record. So therefore, we have asked them to come in and do the proper paperwork. They have at this time. However, it will take about 7 days, so you'll probably see a sign up at Harvey's, but we are taking care of that. And I'm going to ask you all to make a motion to accept this.
What we're gonna do something else?
Technically, what you're doing is you're approving the license, subject to the manager getting a full clearance on their background.
And
And once that's complete, then all items on the checklist are complete. An alcoholic beverage license is unusual. It consists of three things. You license the location, you license the business, Harvey's. And you have to license the manager who's on site and responsible for enforcing and seeing that all the regulations are followed. They transfer their people, and there was confusion because it's about 3 layers of corporation. And somebody upstairs didn't get, they got some of the words, sent the fees and some paperwork, but whoever intermediate didn't bring the manager in for fingerprinting and background check, and that takes about 7 days, and that's a necessary requirement. And the state will not issue a renewal license until the local license is issued. And so they actually had a lady from Harvey's come today to get her procedure straight. So if they'll get that done, then we can issue a license. We assume everything's in order. The managers that they've transferred in the past have all been in good standing. It's just a procedural issue that they need to take care of. And there's no temporary waiver that you can grant in between. It must, the law is clear that you must do it. So, rather than wait till next February's meeting, you would approve it conditioned upon that one item. And with that, then we could issue the license once they perfect it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Hughes. Do I have a second? Ms. Rosie? Any questions, discussion? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, for your information, the audit for FY 15-16 is complete and has been filed with the state. The auditor, Deborah Yance and Lauren Sweat of Burt CPA, are scheduled to make a presentation at the February meeting of the mayor and council. That will be next council meeting. The 2017 election calendar and the city election and qualification advertisement has been posted. Al, is that correct? Or
Yes,
is
ma'am,
there
we
a process?
approved it. Actually, the election superintendent, I sent this up here as a copy. She takes care of all.
Know that Carl's been in the hospital and he is now out. He's not back to his normal schedule at this time. He's been quite sick and is headed toward a,
He's going to see a specialist,
specialist.
try to get to the bottom of his mystery.
Okay, police chief is at,
He and Sergeant Hewitt is training, but he sent me a sheet, and I'll just give you a highlights. It's in your book. But we've had a good year, and the police department and its community policing programs, as the mayor said in her address, have worked well. 27% decrease in Part 1. That's the 8 serious crimes on the FBI schedule. And we've had a 9% decrease in Part 2. Those are the smaller ones: assaults, forgeries, stolen property, disorderly conduct, and those things. And also juvenile, we've had a 94% decrease in detainments. And the city actually was the one in its aggressive moves of securing over 52% of the search warrants in Bacon County in the last year. And Officer Highsmith led the police department in responding to calls for service. Sheila did a fine job. Officer Gebhardt led in traffic enforcement, and Officer Sorrow led in actual arrest. So I think they really picked up the pace and taken up the challenge to do a lot of positive work, and actually I think it's given we've moved in a positive direction in the community.
very good.
Any questions on all that? There's more details on this sheet from the press and from elected officials.
Okay, Gary, code enforcement.
This county year-end report for 2016. Permits issued by the code enforcement office, there were 16. Permit fees collected was $9,170. And along with the Alma Pack's $4 million investment, we've also had new construction and job costs at $3,372,572 for this year, for last year. Over on the property maintenance report, we had 10-day notices, we had 58, citations 16, unsafe houses, we had 12, we only have 5. But the unsafe house cases are active now. We're still working on those to get them down or brought up to code. We had 5 demos, which we tore down 5 houses and cleaned up the lot. 6 remodels. We've had 10 court cases, cleaned up 37 properties. And we still have 6 property liens on properties that we've cleaned up.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, Public Works, Alan, you gonna do that?
I'll say a couple of quick things. We have done a lot to improve our service. One, we sweep the streets every 2 weeks, on a cycle, no less than every 2 weeks, sometimes more frequently. And it really has cleaned up the appearance of the streets. We've edged, we're finishing the second round of edging of the whole community, where we have curb and gutter and cleaning it up so that they don't look so ragged. And the staff has been challenging them to let's keep moving and get things done. They've gotten a lot done this year. They've significantly improved the pace. And trash, we get all that. We make the routes pretty well every week, total for the community. Of course, the weekend warriors get out and get us up another load for Monday, Tuesday. And but the whole Public Works has worked out well, and they are very appreciative that we've got good, clean, solid, safe facilities to work in. Our biggest challenge now this year is to get all of our shops organized inside and get everything so they can find things and put them there instead of it's all just piled. They've been throwing stuff out, and they said, you know, that stuff was there when I was hired 15 years ago. And they finally cleaned that out. I think we talked about it today. We've sold $15,000 worth of scrap material that was just laying around and doing nothing and needed to go. And we haven't missed any of them. And so they've come a long way, and they've really got this new attitude of the city ought to set the example and go for it. And streets, drainage, public works, solid waste, all those folks. Water and sewer too. Yes, ma'am.
Al, I'd like to thank whoever the person was that on, during the Christmas holidays that took the time and went and cleaned up that little problem that I was having in my district. Would you please tell him I said thank you?
Well, it was like almost Christmas, the day before Christmas Eve, it was our last day of work. The prison crew had gone out and, well, we'd already edged that section up there around 14th Street. They had come along and pulled it out, but they didn't tell, it's a 3-step process, and they didn't tell the street sweeper. And so I hear these people come in from out of town, and there's just this big mess in the street. I'm talking about a royal mess, and all these edging stuff. And they called Bernita. Well, Bernita was in Virginia. I didn't realize that. And they said, you're my council member, what you gonna do about this? And they kind of leaned on her. She did it. But anyway, I figured out by the middle of the day that Roscoe runs the street sweeper. I could get him and he'd do it. He said, yes, sir, we'll come right on. Roscoe is the longest serving employee here. He was here when I was here the first time. And so he and I are comrades in that sense. But he came on over, worked for about 5 hours, 4 loads of stuff that he picked up, got it all out of there, got them settled for Christmas Eve. Everything worked out, called back to Virginia and everything. That's when I figured out she was in Virginia and got all that stuff. But that's what it's all about. Just because stuff fell off the schedule, we shouldn't just leave them hanging. And so Roscoe's your buddy.
Thank you.
Again, I say we have the best staff, and I continue to
He didn't
drive
hesitate.
that home.
He didn't hesitate. He called me at 6 that night and said approved.
Okay, the Bacon Theater continues to do well. Do you have a report on that?
Should be in here, but it's increased in its revenue and it's increased in its event. They've had an excellent year, and, you know, the grants paid the mortgage, but as far as their operations, they're moving, they're well in the black and moving forward. Biggest thing is picking out the movies that are the hits, hit the taste. But they're having a significant increase, Amanda, aren't they, in other events. These church groups come and want to see a theater, or somebody wants to do that. And also, now that we've cleared the stage and got that big frame that took up half the stage holding the screen, got the screen out of there, you can now put on a full production. And we're seeing that, we expect to see another increase in that. We're beginning to really fill out the potential of that theater. Y'all took a big gamble a few years ago, and you know, funny thing is, the mayor of Dublin visited the mayor and, last week, and he was talking about it. And he also has seen it in Vidalia and some other places, and he says, how do we do that? How's that done? But apparently it's catching on across the country, that people really get a kick out of going to local movies, and they also don't have to spend $100 to take the family.
Right.
So,
Now provide popcorn for them.
and we had to upsize our popcorn machine to get to 400 down, whatever it is, from 150 units to 400 units, and the time and everything, get a high production thing, and we're not through yet. Of course, Larry back there's already put in a bid for the old popcorn machine
What about when the hot dogs coming?
with the new counter.
Right.
Counter's being constructed right now.
It won't be long. And I'd like to thank Trina Taylor. She is the manager of the theater, and she's done an excellent job, as you can see from these reports. So kudos to Trina. Okay, Mr. City Attorney, do you have a report, sir? You have anything you'd like to say?
There's a potential litigation I need to address
Okay.
the executive session.
Okay.
We put that down under executive session in his annual overview.
Cumberland, I'm going to skip yours out because, do you want to do yours now, or you want to?
I'll do that before we go to executive session.
Okay.
Cumberland Road, we have to get better construction, or, anyway, they did a heroic job. The bid came out late. They jumped in there, and they did the 2-foot widening really over the Christmas, New Year's holiday on Cumberland Road to get to the primary school. That's been basically accomplished. There's a lot of cleanup work, and probably another 60 days worth of finishing out and all that. Functionally, the widening is in there. And, of course, the city is a passive partner, and we will share the final cost with the county. Streetcade project, that's a long tortured grant project, but they finally have given us the green light to go ahead and bid and get on with it. So this is the year of the streetscape. I think somebody said y'all started that journey 10 years ago.
Yes, sir. Every bit of it.
And the solid waste drop-off center, the city and the county have agreed. I'm hoping that we can make a target date of opening in early February. We're ready to go forward. We had a joint meeting last week about the county's task. There'll be a temporary drop-off site on the ground level that has the small containers that people can go out there. But our goal is to open up, and once we open up, is to be open every Saturday from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We need to buy some significant ads and put up some signs on the highway to tell people where the drop-off center is. It's back there at the old recycling center, right across from the county's business shop on Caribbean Road. And but we look forward. We think that'll be a big step up. One of our biggest trash problems now is all these couches, furniture, water heaters, other things that people take to the street, or they throw it in their truck, and once it drives out of Granny's yard, it doesn't come back. I don't know where it goes, but the county says they discover a lot of it out in the woods. And so we think that we'll all be improved by getting that. We just have to show that they're a Macon County resident to get in. We're not looking for Appling counties, coffee counties, or some of these others. And no tires. There'll be more for the press. We'll glad to talk. Those are the highlights.
Okay, thank you. We come to now, as Mr. Attorney said, executive session. We have some litigation to take care of, so at this time I'll entertain a motion for executive session.
Ms. Miller.
Oh, me, I'm sorry, Mr. Commissioner, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay, that's fine with that. Okay, good evening, everyone. I just come to remind you about the Martin Luther King activities. I'm in the parade. Monday starts at 3 p.m.
Monday at 3.
Same place.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to let you know we're gonna line up, or just get down there early?
Yeah, I'll guide you better line up there.
What time we need to be there to line up?
Well, parade starts at 3.
Okay, so we there.
2:30?
Normally have people coming in at 1 o'clock to have signs put on their cars, but you guys, y'all vehicles are already prepared, so.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get there about 2:30, that'll be fine. Yeah. So.
Appreciate you coming too.
We sure
We
do.
also have the the wreath laying ceremony Sunday, on the 15th at 5 p.m. and a church service at 6 o'clock p.m. at First African Baptist Church. So we invite all y'all to come and attend, and as well as the public.
Thank you. Okay, before we go into executive session, our next meeting will be February the 6th. I need a motion.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Okay, Mr. Hughes, second.
Second.